Okay, so we're here with tech extraordinaire Chris Pirillo. Okay, so we're going to be interviewing Chris today, and so Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself to start off with.
I'm a geek.
Cool.
Been a geek all my life.
Okay,
All my life. Wait. What grade are you in?
I'm in 6th grade.
See, I started, I think I was in the 4th or 5th grade. And my grandfather had a Commodore VIC-20, and it was plugged into a black and white television, right? And you could do basic programming with this, and so I memorized a certain script, so I was able to program it by memory. Now, I only had a black and white television plugged into this VIC-20 there in this back room, but they had a science center. I grew up in Iowa, and so I go to the science center, and they actually have it plugged into a color television because it was able to handle colors. And so I was able to program, this little thing that I memorized, and then all these different colors showed up on screen, and I impressed like 3 people, and that was like back in the 5th grade.
So that was when you first became interested in technology. How are you able to kind of form a career out of technology?
You know, that's really difficult for me to really nail down, because for me, I guess technology was never a career choice. Because I mean, while I had fun, typing in scripts and playing with toys and general gadgets and computers, I never saw it as a career path. I never thought I'd go into IT or something with programming. It just wasn't interesting.
And so you started out with Tech TV, I believe.
Well, that happened in certainly it happened in 2001, but I had been doing Locker Gnome since 1996.
Okay.
So what had happened was I had graduated with a degree in English education. So I'm an English teacher. Okay. By trade, my degree is I'm an English teacher. So technology was just this ancillary thing, and it just it turned into something where I was able to figure out how to make it pay the bills.
And so you just mentioned Locker Gnome. Locker Gnome is basically your handle for quite a lot of websites and stuff. How did you think of that?
It was a high school nickname.
Oh, okay.
So someone, I had a writing teacher who called me Gnome, and then one day I was standing by lockers, and then I decided that I was going to be the Locker Gnome. Okay. And so that was back in 1991, and then I went to college, and then everyone online seemed to have a handle of sorts, and so mine was the Locker Gnome. And years later, when I needed to register a domain name, it became lockergnome.com, and that's evolved over the years too. And I've done various and sundry things online and off around that handle.
Cool. So you have an annual tech conference, GnomeDex. How did that get started? From
the chat room. The chat room that's playing behind you, right? Well, it was pretty much the same exact chat room. That's the IRC. There were a few people there said they wanted to get together, and this is when I was still living in Iowa. And I said, well, we just don't want to get together because it's going to be boring. Why don't we have a reason to get together, have like a little convention conference thing? And this is about the time that, I'd gone to Comdex, which was a huge conference back in the day. Doesn't exist at this point. But I wanted to play on that, and so I called it GnomeDex. It was this close to being called Corndex, because I was big with corn. But, decided, I was like, well, let's stick with Gnome. And so GnomeDex started in 2001. It's been going on 9 years now. Happens in Seattle. I've got 2010. The dates are nailed down. I've got to start working on sponsorships, partners, and everything. But I don't know if I'm really going to do it, for too much longer. At least in its current state. Yeah. I mean, it's been fun to do, but it's also very, very stressful.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Just out of curiosity, how many working computers do you have in your house?
In this room alone, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8 computers in this room alone.
Right. So beyond that, I guess not too many. I've got a lot of network-aware devices, certainly, but which is convenient. A mix of both PCs and Macs. If I had a choice, though, I would. Well, I like a mix, I really do.
Yeah. Okay, what have been some of the most exciting moments, throughout your career?
Well, measuring myself between 5.45 to 5.5, so I grew a half inch about 10 years ago and stopped growing at that point. That was kind of disappointing. That was exciting to me, because then I was able to ride the roller coasters. Because they have, that you must be this tall, and for some reason they don't like short people. Those amusement parks, not very amusing to me. No, it's been a series of ups and downs. But as far as the ups are concerned, meeting some of my I guess heroes.
Yeah.
When I worked at Tech TV, meeting people that I only read about before, I never really saw, and certainly not met in real life. Those have been highlights. Doing Gnome Decks certainly has been a highlight. And I think more than anything, being able to, as you kind of pointed out, figure out a career around enjoying doing what I do, because there are a lot of people who don't have that as a luxury, to be able to work at home, and all its stresses. It's not perfect, not easy. Sometimes though, it really is a rewarding experience. So.
So what kind of big projects do you have planned for this upcoming year?
I'm in the process now of working with an individual. We're going to basically turn LockerGnome.net as opposed to .com. LockerGnome.net is going to be a place for people to get a free blog. It's going to be running WordPress. Anybody can sign up. What we're going to do is we're going to make it so that when you sign up, we'll ask for like your Flickr ID, Twitter, YouTube, like
Facebook,
all this stuff. Yeah, right, all that stuff, and then we'll incorporate it into
cool.
your daily blog post. So we'll do archives. So when you post a YouTube video, it automatically gets posted to your Locker Gnome blog for free. And so those will be free. You can use them as a blog, import, export, etc. We'll also have an upsell. So I'll start doing WordPress hosting, so people can get, if they want to have their own domain, we'll give them that. You having fun with Pixie there? Yeah, she's a lap dog. So is Wicket. Wicket gets jealous there.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, Pixie, come here, baby.
So, just to wrap this up, what advice do you have for any young tech enthusiasts?
Advice. The landscapes. Pixie just likes your lap. Sorry, dude.
It's okay.
If you don't, I can take her. It's not a big deal. They like stealing the shit. Pixie, you're cracking me up. If I had any advice, the landscape's always going to be changing. What it is today is not what it's going to be a year from now, and that's a big challenge, especially in this industry, because what's relevant today is not even relevant a month from now. I mean, business models constantly evolve. I mean, Twitter, even a year ago, wasn't used the same way as it is right now.
Definitely.
And now it's become a force to be reckoned with, as is Facebook, and these will continue to evolve. But there's always going to be something new that's going to come in and replace one thing. As someone who's looking at it from a business perspective, you have to constantly adapt to the way the market shifts, because if you don't, then you'll end up rendering yourself a bit irrelevant.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us, Chris. We'll see you later.